All right, we got an interesting little video here from Brian Lilly. So Ryan Garrettson reposted this on X, and it says, "What are your thoughts on this commentary by Brian Lilly regarding the NDP getting official party status? I think he has some excellent points as to why it should happen that I've never thought about. Now, I know the NDP only currently has 7 seats, but apparently it is up to Mark Carney whether he wants to, give them the, official party status, which gives them more resources, etc., etc. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but let's listen to Brian Lilly here and see what he has to say."
The federal Conservatives should embrace the idea of the NDP getting official party status. Let me explain why. It might seem counterintuitive. It might seem like it goes against everything the Conservatives believe in, but it's for their own benefit. The NDP only got 7 seats in the last election. You need 12 to get official party status. Now, party status gets you more resources. It gets you your research budget. It gets you extra staff. Also allows you to ask more questions during question period. It gets you spots on committee. All things that would help the NDP recover, become a stronger third party. That would benefit the Conservatives in the next election in terms of being able to take on the Carney Liberals. But if the NDP just fades away, life becomes more difficult for the Conservatives. Doug Ford here in Ontario extended the per-vote subsidy, not because he believes in it, but because he knows that if the NDP or the Liberals were in power, they would pass it, they would keep it around. But also, without it, the Ontario NDP would have been handicapped, and that would have made the Ontario Liberals stronger. So sometimes in politics, you end up doing things that you don't agree with in order to help your opponent, who in turn can help you. That's what the federal Conservatives should be thinking about. Will they do that? We won't know. It's all going to take place in secret at the Board of Internal Economy, but we'll see what happens. This is not something the Carney Liberals should be supporting, but Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives, they should give it some thought.
That's very interesting, and the thing is, right, in terms of the NDP, it is better for the Conservatives if they grow their party back to where it was when Jagmeet Singh first came into, I guess not into power, but ever since he was the leader. I can't remember what they got in 2019, but I know after 2021 it was like 25 seats. Now they're down to 7. But about 10 years ago, when Jack Layton was in power, they had over 100 seats. I can't remember the exact number, but it was over 100. Now, we obviously don't want them getting that many unless the Liberals completely fall off a cliff. But that being said, if the NDP is going to just fade away, then that's more votes for the Liberals. If the NDP comes back stronger and they start doing better in the polling numbers, first of all, they're going to understand that, hey, what we're doing is working. It has to be some sort of grassroots movement because they don't have a whole lot of money and they're not getting any funding right now. But the better they do, as long as they're within that 15 to 20% range, if we go into an election with the NDP that strong, the NDP is not only going to get their official party status back, which is something they want, they'll have a stronger party, which in turn will take votes away from the Liberals, right? So it is good for the Conservatives if the NDP does come back a little bit here. And as fans of the Conservative Party right now, currently, with Pierre Poilievre at the leadership, I think we should support that. Encourage people to go out and vote for the NDP in ridings that they lost to the Liberals. I mean, let's be honest. If Jagmeet Singh gets 15 to 20% of the vote, that's coming from Mark Carney mostly. Pierre probably wins the election. So it's very interesting with the NDP right now. They don't have a full-time leader, just an interim leader, but whoever the next full-time leader is should be working very hard at the grassroots level, not trying to side with the Liberals to keep them in power, to prop them up. So hopefully that's what happens. They come back a little bit, get back within that 15 to 20% in the polls, and then there's also a good chance that they'll vote with the Conservatives to have an election. And that could easily happen within the next year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I know a lot of people right now are doom and gloom. They're not very happy with what's going on. I completely understand. But let's be honest, right? I mean, even if these 2 ridings that are under recount, even if they flip to a majority, it's only one set. It's the bare minimum for a majority, and there will be other by-elections too, that the Liberals, if they don't follow with their promises and be different than Justin Trudeau, they'll lose to the Conservatives or the NDP, therefore losing their majority anyway. I do not see a majority for 4 years under the Liberal Party. No way. And I know a lot of damage can be done within just a couple years, but at least we don't have to wait 4 years. It's not a great consolation prize, but it's something to look forward to, something to work on. And hopefully on my end, I can do a better job reaching out to people. I do appreciate everyone who follows the channel, who watches my videos. Don't get me wrong, but I also need to do my part and do a better job reaching out to younger people. The young men and women didn't vote as much as I thought they were going to, and hopefully I can start attracting some younger viewers and get them on our side. But either way, let me know what you guys think. First of all, do you think that we're going to have an election within 2 years? And who do you think is going to be the next leader of the NDP? Hopefully it's someone strong with at least some sense of awareness and patriotism towards the country, unlike Jagmeet Singh. But who do you think it's going to be? I'm not too sure. Wab Kanu? Does Tom Mulcair come back? Who do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Please don't be shy. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.